Hello dear friends, this is K.R.T. AHIRE. I am working as assistant professor at the Department of Environmental Science, K.R.T. Arts, BH Commerce and AM Science, which is popularly known as KTHM College NASHIK, which is located in the state of Maharashtra in India. So dear friends, it's my great pleasure to deliver a keynote address on this beautiful occasion. Here, I am going to deliver keynote address, one of the important topics, that is impact of COVID-19 on environment. So dear friends, we know that nowadays we all are going through this very critical situation, that is COVID-19 pandemic. And this COVID-19 pandemic has very badly impacted on each and every sector. Here, today we are going to see how this COVID-19 has been impacted on one of the very important fields, that is environment. So dear friends, let's see. So we know that the current COVID-19 pandemic outbreak caused significant impact on each and every sector very badly, right? So here, each and every sector, it may be economy, it may be education sector, it may be agriculture sector, it may be health sector. So here, each and every sector has badly impacted due to this COVID-19 pandemic. And this is not only limited to any particular country, right? So here, this pandemic has been impacted all over the world. Although we know that many studies have been carried out to identify its impact on various sectors, various researchers have tried to study what type of impact this pandemic has been caused on various sectors. But here, still very limited studies has been published about this COVID-19 pandemic and environment. So here, what type of impact has been made by this COVID-19 pandemic, and due to its various precautions and various responses given by the various countries on the environment. So let's see the objectives of our study. So here, the present work is dealing with the study on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the environment. So here we are going to make the review of some research articles which are published in the reputed journal related to the COVID-19 and its impact on the environment. So here we are going to make the review of these various articles which are published in the reputed international journals related to the environment and COVID-19. So what type of methodologies we have adopted in this study? So dear friends, here we have extracted the articles which are published in the international journals, reputed international journals on the topic of COVID-19 and the environment. And later on, a review has been made based on the systematic content analysis of the article. So we have extracted the articles, then we have made the review on our interest, and we have done the systematic content analysis of those extracted articles. So let's discuss what researchers said about this COVID-19 and environment. What type of research they have got from their research, what type of studies they have conducted, what are their results, and how they have concluded all these scenarios with respect to the COVID-19 and environment. So first, here as per the study conducted by the Chakraborty and Maitri in 2020. So they have conducted the study to see the impact of this COVID-19 on this environment. So as per their study, what they say? So this COVID-19 pandemic has caused tremendous impact on society. Even they also said this COVID-19 pandemic caused the negative impact on economy on each and every country. So again here, each and every country has suffered through this pandemic, and it's very badly impacted on this society. Each and every level, each and every sector of the society, along with the economy of each and every country. However, it has helped repair some environmental damage. Even it has some kind of negative impact on the society, on the health of the people, as well as the agriculture sector, as well as the education sector, as well as the economy of the country, right? But somewhere, if you see, according to the study conducted by the Chakraborty and Mehti, what they say here, this COVID-19 pandemic has helped to repair some environmental damages. So we know that, dear friends, due to industrialization, due to the development of the technology, due to changing of our lifestyle. So here we have increased our anthropogenic activity. So here anthropogenic activity means here somewhere we have increased our human interference in the environment, and due to this, what happens? Somewhere the environmental damage is taking place. So due to this COVID-19 pandemic, it helps in repair some environmental damages. While Chakraborty and Mehti again in 2020, as well as Sadal et al. 2020, then Wang and Su 2020, then Zambrano, Manchester et al. 2020. So they have conducted several studies, and according to their study, they have concluded that the greenhouse gas emission, as well as nitrogen dioxide, also water pollution, noise pollution, have reduced significantly due to full or partial lockdown and strict movement control order by many governments across the world. So what they said? So according to their study, they have concluded that the greenhouse gas emissions. So we know that various sources are there for greenhouse gas emissions, and these various sources somewhere restricted. Also, again we also know that the sources of nitrogen dioxide, then water pollution, noise pollution. So all these environmental pollution mainly caused due to human activity, right? Due to industrial activity, due to vehicle pollution, right? Due to movement of these various vehicles or humans, and also industrial activities. So also our day-to-day activities. So due to this full or partial lockdowns or even a strict movement control order by the various governments, right? So somewhere we observe that somewhere partial lockdowns were there, somewhere full lockdowns were there, right? If in some countries only essential services has been permitted. So even in India, we are also in partial lockdown. So due to this full or partial lockdown, so the sources of these various environmental pollution somewhere has been restricted, right? And due to this, what happened? It helps to minimize all this, or it helps to control all this environmental pollution. Then, if you see in the view of Zambrano, Monserrat, and Ruano, based on their studies, they have conducted their study in 2019. The source of sound pollution was extensive industrial activity. So we know that this is the main source of noise pollution. Industrial activities are one of the main sources of the noise pollution, and it is also already known that it harms public health and damage natural ecosystem. So we all are very well aware about the impact of noise on human health as well as animal health, and it's also having ability to damage the natural ecosystem. But what happened due to this strict restriction imposed by the government in many countries? So they observed that the noise pollution has decreased, right? So what their study said? According to their study, the noise pollution has been decreased due to the various restrictions has been imposed by the various governments across the world.
The study conducted by Zambrano, Montserrat and Runao again in 2019. They also mention about the impact of lockdown on noise and air pollution. So again, according to their study, they concluded that due to restriction of the movement of public transport and halted industrial activities completely, which result in a significant reduction of noise and air pollution worldwide. So again here they have highlighted that due to the restriction which are imposed by the various governments on the public movement as well as industrial activities, so it results in a significant reduction of noise as well as air pollution, and it's happened worldwide. It's not only happen in any particular country, right? So it's happened worldwide. So it's observed all over the world. So again Zambrano, Montserrat et al. 2020 observed the level of NO2 and PM2.5 in Wuhan. So they observed that the concentration of the NO2 and PM2.5 in Wuhan was dropped by 22.8 microgram per cubic meter and 1.4 microgram per cubic meter respectively due to strict lockdown imposed by the government. So in China also they have conducted the studies, and according to their study it is observed that the concentration level of the nitrogen dioxide and particulate matter 2.5 in Wuhan city has been dropped, right, due to the strict lockdown imposed by the government. However, along with some positive impact of this COVID-19 pandemic on the environment, some negative impact on the environment has also been noted due to COVID-19 pandemic. So let's see, dear friends, let's see what type of negative impacts we can observe due to this COVID-19 pandemic. So the amount of domestic and medical waste has been increasing, which is really harmful to the environment. So we know that this medical waste and domestic waste is really harmful to the human being as well as all types of living organisms, right? So according to the Zambrano, Montserrat et al. 2020, so hospitals in Wuhan generated 240 metric tons of medical waste per day compared to 50 tons per day in pre-COVID-19 period. So here during the COVID-19 period, here the hospital waste, the amount of hospital waste is increasing, right, and tremendous increase, because we know that nowadays the load on the hospitals, medical sector, so they are working with their 100% efficiency. And here, due to this, what happened? The amount of medical waste has been increased. So this is only this data is only limited to Wuhan city, right? So dear friends, we can imagine the what amount of medical waste is generating nowadays. What type of medical waste is generating, and how we are going to manage these, how we are going to dispose it, right? So therefore here this is again I think it is one of the negative impact of this COVID-19 on the environment. So here we are talking about environment point of view, right? On environment, its extra burden is there to manage or these here properly dispose the medical waste as well as municipal solid waste also. So here, these are some studies which are conducted to see the impact of COVID-19 on the environment. So here, these are several authors. They have conducted the studies. So according to their studies, they have got some key findings. For example, Wang and Su 2020. So their the purpose behind their study, that is to explore the impact of COVID-19 on the environment, and they have conducted their study in China. So they have got some key findings like a significant reduction of air pollution due to full or partial lockdown in the short run, which result in reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. We know that, right? Even for example, if you see with respect to the COVID-19 and air pollution, so Abdullah et al. 2020. So the purpose behind their study to examine the impact of here the movement of here the control of movement in Malaysia on air quality. So their study has been conducted in Malaysia. So according to their study, they got the finding, that is what type of impact is there on the air quality as well as PM 2.5. So they observed that the concentration of PM 2.5 has been reduced due to this restriction has been imposed on the movement of people in Malaysia. Also, if you see with respect to the COVID-19 and climate or meteorological factors, so Bashir et al. 2020, according to their study, they have conducted a study in New York City of USA. So according to their study, the average and minimum temperature and quality of air significantly influence the COVID-19 transmission. So likewise, several studies has been conducted to see the impact of this COVID-19 on the environment. So here, if you see the impact of this COVID-19 on the environment degradation, so here these are some parameters and its impact on the COVID-19 impacts on these various parameters. For example, here if you see the water quality, right? So due to COVID-19, the water quality has been improved. So here this plus sign has indicated that the water quality has been improved. Because what? Why? Because of due to this lockdown and the restriction in the movement. So the sources of these water pollutants, like we know that nowadays effluent which are coming from the industries is one of the greatest sources of the water pollution, right? So due to these strict lockdown or partial lockdown, it may be partial or complete lockdown imposed by the government. So industrial activities were somewhere limited or it's somewhere closed, right? Due to this, the sources of this water pollution were also very limited. Due to this, what happened? The water quality has been improved. Then medical waste. So here medical waste, the amount of medical waste also increased. Then environmental qualities. Overall, if you see the overall environmental quality has been improved due to this COVID-19 pandemic and the restrictions has been imposed by the various government. Then pollution in beaches has reduced. This minus sign indicated that the pollution in beaches has been decreased due to tourist activities were completely banned. Even sound pollution also decreases. So we know that our activities, our human activities are mainly responsible for the sound pollution. So here again, due to restriction imposed by the various governments, so therefore here sound pollution also decrease. Even carbon emissions, carbon emission was also decreased. It was observed that it is decreased due to again the restriction imposed by the various governments. So let's see some indirect impacts of this COVID-19 on air pollution. So here, according to some studies, here already we know that the concentration of carbon monoxide also decreased. Even concentration of NO2, nitrogen dioxide, then particulate matter 10, their concentration has been decreased in the air. So this is good for the as an environment point of view. So this we can say the environmental restoration has been take place in between this COVID-19 pandemic. So here let's see some further studies what say. So according to the Muhammad Hassan Shakir et al. 2020, so the transmission of COVID-19 is also greatly influenced by the climate system, right? So the meteorological some parameters and due to this some climatic system, so the influence or transmission of this COVID-19 somewhere influence. So it has some relations with this climatology as well as here COVID-19 pandemic. So significant parameters of the climates are temperature. We know that the temperature, humidity, rainfall and wind speeds. So they highlight the significant association among these meteorological factors and COVID-19. So according to their study, they highlighted the some kind of relations, significant association in between these meteorological factors like temperature, humidity, rainfall and wind speed with COVID-19 and the transmission of this COVID-19. So this study conducted by the Bashir et al. In 2020 shown the relations between quality of air and increase the spread of COVID-19 infection in New York City, right? So here somehow according to some researchers, the transmission of the COVID-19 infection somewhere which is correlate with the air quality. So let's see the next study what says. So here according to the view of Muhammad Hassan Shakir et al., according to their review, the study conducted by the Sahin 2020 and Zhu et al. 2020. So they examine the influence of weather and meteorological factors on COVID-19 transmission in the cases of Turkey and China respectively. So they also say the influence of weather and meteorological factors of COVID-19 transmission in Turkey as well as China. So the temperature and humidity had a significant adverse impact on daily cases of COVID-19, and that the interaction effect of temperature and humidity is robust in case of daily COVID-19 cases, right? So this conclusion has been made by the Q et al. 2020. So they also mention somewhere the temperature and humidity play a significant role in the transmission rate of the COVID-19 pandemic.
According to Q et al. 2020, 1 degree centigrade rise in average daily temperature decreased the daily rate of COVID-19 cases by between 36% and 57% when relative humidity was between 67% and 85.5%. So again here it is one of the key findings of the researchers. So according to Q et al., what they say, according to their study, 1 degree centigrade rise in average daily temperature which can decrease the daily rate of COVID-19 cases. But here again relative humidity play very important role, right? So this two meteorological parameters, temperature as well as relative humidity, play crucial role in to increase or decrease the transmission rate of the COVID-19. So it is also mentioned that 1 degree centigrade rise in relative humidity decreased the daily COVID-19 cases by 11 and 22% when the average daily temperature was between 5.04 degree centigrade and 8.2 degree centigrade. So again, the same researchers have also mentioned the relationship between temperature and relative humidity with COVID-19 pandemic. So some researcher has here raised some future questions. So this basic study has been already conducted, but according to some researchers, some scientists, they have raised some future questions which are future research which can be conducted in nearby future to study the relationship between COVID-19 and environment. So if you see here the cluster wise which is published by the Muhammad Hassan Shakil et al. 2020. So according to some researchers, they have raised some a question to solve in future research. For example, Wang and Su 2020. So according to them, they have raised the future research, that is, does COVID-19 have any effect on the environment in the case of high populated countries? Does the environmental quality persist post lockdown? Even Abdullah et al. 2020, according to their view, the future research can be conducted on do whether traffic, industrial operations and burning of biomass reduce the particulate matter to 0.5 apart from these restrictions, moment of restrictions can be take place. Even with respect to the COVID-19 and climate or meteorological factors, the Bashir et al. 2020, they have raised the question on does the impact of COVID-19 on climate change differ between more affected and less affected countries? Even the COVID-19 and temperature, the Bryce Radon and Cyrano Arozka, they have raised the question that is, can the interaction between climate and human conduct be a confounder in the connection among climate circumstances and COVID-19 transmission? They also raise the question that is, do non-meteorological and spatial factors influence COVID-19 transmission? So these are various several questions which are arised by the various researchers, and they definitely raise these questions, and the future research definitely will be conducted on these to solve these various questions. So finally, we are turning towards the conclusion of our session. So in this study, we have gone through the positive as well as negative impact of COVID-19 pandemic, which we have already reviewed what type of effects can be observed due to this pandemic on the environment. So it has been concluded that COVID-19 pandemic has positively worked with respect to reduction of environmental pollution. So mostly positive research has been conducted by the researchers, and they concluded the positive impacts, maximum positive impacts on the environment as the environment point of view. So here positive impacts on the environment has been observed. So this might be happened due to strict restriction and has imposed by the government during lockdown. Hence, because of the sources of pollutants were very limited. So during the period of lockdown, during the period of strict movement of the people, maybe during the industries were shut down. So due to this, the sources of these pollutants were very limited. So therefore, overall, if you see, So it has the positive impact on the environment, but negative impact is also there, right? So there, this is all about the COVID-19 and environment. So these are some references that we have gone through. So thank you so much.